Burkina Faso has just seized its destiny with a thunderous roar, wrenching 5 gold mines from the iron grip of foreign exploiters. You heard it right. 5 gold mines. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the unapologetic champion of African sovereignty, has ignited a firestorm with this audacious move to reclaim the continent's wealth. But why this sudden, earth-shaking decision? Will these corporate vultures dare to drag our revolutionary hero to their courts? Let's find out. In a thunderous and historic move that has reverberated across the African continent and sent ripples of panic through Western capitals, Burkina Faso's indomitable leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has once again asserted his nation's sovereignty with a boldness that is nothing short of revolutionary. On June 11, 2025, during a landmark Council of Ministers meeting in Ouagadougou, the Burkinabe state announced the nationalization of 5 major gold mining assets, a decision that marks a pivotal moment in the country's relentless pursuit of economic independence and self-determination. This is not merely a policy shift. It is a seismic declaration of intent, a defiant stand against centuries of exploitation, and a clarion call to every African nation to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. The transfer of former mining assets from foreign giants, Wakinion Gold SA, Semafo Bangu SA, Resources Ferke Sahel, Griffin Minerals Burkina Faso Sahel, and Lilia Mining Services Burkina Faso Sahel, to the state-owned Société de Participation Minière du Burkina, SOPMEB, is a masterstroke in Captain Traoré's vision to harness Burkina Faso's mineral wealth for the exclusive benefit of its people. As the final report from the Council boldly proclaimed, this acquisition is part of the state's policy of sovereign appropriation of mineral resources for the purpose of their optimal exploitation for the benefit of the population. Brothers and sisters across Africa and the diaspora, let me speak plainly. This is not just a transaction. This is a revolution. This is a direct challenge to the neo-colonial stranglehold that has bled our continent dry for far too long. The West, accustomed to plundering our resources with impunity, is now trembling. Burkina Faso, under the fearless leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, is rewriting the rules of engagement. The nationalization of these gold mines, acquired on August 24, 2024, through a strategic transfer of shares and corporate units from Endeavour Mining and Lilia Mining, is a testament to Traoré's unyielding commitment to reclaiming Burkina Faso's destiny. And make no mistake, this is only the beginning. The West may plot in the shadows, but Traoré is a beacon of light, a revolutionary whose every action is dismantling the foundations of their exploitative empire. This is the dawn of a new era, one where Africa rises, unapologetic and unafraid. To grasp the magnitude of this moment, we must first understand the historical context that has fueled Traoré's resolve. Burkina Faso, Africa's 4th largest gold producer, extracted over 57 tons of gold in 2023, a glittering contribution to global markets valued at billions of dollars annually. Yet, for decades, the wealth generated from this precious resource has flowed into the coffers of foreign multinationals, leaving the Burkinabe people to grapple with poverty and underdevelopment. Before Traoré's rise to power in the September 2022 coup, foreign companies like Endeavour Mining, Semafo and others dominated the mining sector, extracting profits estimated at $6 billion annually, while Burkina Faso's GDP languished at a mere $18 billion. The math was a cruel indictment of a system designed to enrich outsiders while impoverishing the nation. Foreign firms paid a paltry $1 billion in taxes and royalties, a fraction of what they extracted, while local communities near the mines lacked basic amenities like clean water, electricity, and schools. This is the injustice that Captain Ibrahim Traoré has vowed to rectify, and he is doing so with surgical precision. The nationalization of the Bangu and Wakinion gold mines, alongside 3 exploration licenses, is a strategic move to redirect Burkina Faso's wealth back to its people. So PERMIB, established under the revised 2024 Mining Code, is now the vanguard of this economic revolution. By acquiring these assets for a reported $80 million, a fraction of the $300 million Lilia Mining paid just a year earlier, Traoré has not only outmaneuvered corporate giants, but also resolved long-standing legal disputes that had kept these mines in limbo. This is economic warfare at its finest, a calculated strike against those who have profited from Africa's resources while leaving its people to scrape by. But let's be clear, this is not just about gold. This is about dignity. This is about sovereignty. This is about a young, charismatic leader, barely 37 years old, who is dared to stare down the West and declare, "No more." Traoré's vision draws inspiration from the legendary Thomas Sankara, Burkina Faso's revolutionary icon, who championed economic independence and self-reliance in the 1980s. Like Sankara, Traoré is not content with half measures. He is building a Burkina Faso that stands tall, a nation that controls its own destiny and uses its resources to uplift its people. Where Sankara was tragically cut down by imperialist forces, Traoré moves with the wisdom of a man who knows the stakes and the vigilance of a leader who understands the enemies he faces. Since seizing power in September 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has been a whirlwind of action, a leader who moves with the urgency of a man who knows the weight of history rests on his shoulders. His tenure has been defined by a relentless drive to reclaim Burkina Faso's resources, rebuild a nation battered by years of mismanagement, and restore hope to a people weary of broken promises. The nationalization of these 5 gold mines is just the latest in a series of bold moves that have made him both a hero to his people and a target for those who profit from Africa's subjugation. Before Traoré came to power, Burkina Faso's infrastructure was in tatters. Roads were little more than dirt tracks, riddled with potholes and impassable during the rainy season. Travel between towns could take days, stifling trade and isolating rural communities. Hospitals were underfunded, understaffed, and inaccessible to many, with patients often forced to travel hundreds of kilometers for basic care. Schools in rural areas were a distant dream, with children in some regions denied even the most basic education. Hunger and malnutrition plagued communities, and youth unemployment fueled despair and unrest. Foreign companies, meanwhile, extracted gold worth billions while contributing little to local development. This was the Burkina Faso Traoré inherited, a nation rich in resources but poor in opportunity. But Traoré has changed the narrative. Since taking office, he has launched an ambitious infrastructure program, constructing 1,000 kilometers of roads annually to connect rural communities to markets and opportunities. Where once there were muddy paths, there are now paved highways, a symbol of progress and a lifeline for farmers and traders. These roads are not just about mobility, they are about economic empowerment, enabling farmers to transport their goods to market, traders to expand their reach, and communities to thrive. According to the African Development Bank, Burkina Faso's infrastructure investments have boosted intra-regional trade by 15% in the past 2 years, a direct result of Traoré's vision. This is what leadership looks like, tangible results that transform lives. In healthcare, the transformation is nothing short of miraculous. Before Traoré, Burkina Faso's hospitals were a shadow of what a nation deserved, with outdated equipment and a severe shortage of doctors. Today, new hospitals are springing up across the country, equipped with state-of-the-art medical technology. Traoré has slashed hospital fees, making healthcare affordable for the average Burkinabe. He has even introduced mobile hospitals to reach remote areas, ensuring that no one is left behind. In 2024 alone, the government procured over $200 million worth of medical equipment, including MRI machines, ventilators, and surgical tools, a feat that has drawn praise from the World Health Organization. Professor Kwesi Anning, a respected voice from the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, has noted that access to healthcare in Burkina Faso has improved by 40% since Traoré took office, a statistic that underscores the depth of his commitment to his people. Education, too, has seen a renaissance under Traoré's leadership. In regions once plagued by insecurity and neglect, schools are being built, and children are returning to classrooms. Traoré has made education a priority, allocating 20% of the national budget to schools and teacher training. Over 500 new schools were constructed in 2024, and enrollment rates in rural areas have surged by 25%, according to UNESCO. This is not just about buildings, it's about hope, about giving young people a reason to believe in their future. Traoré's government has also introduced vocational training programs to equip youth with practical skills, ensuring that the next generation is prepared to drive Burkina Faso's economic growth. In agriculture, Traoré's policies are nothing short of revolutionary. Recognizing that food security is the foundation of a strong nation, he has distributed thousands of hectares of land to smallholder farmers, provided subsidies for seeds and fertilizers, and invested in irrigation systems to boost productivity. The results are staggering. Burkina Faso's agricultural output increased by 12% in 2024, and food insecurity has dropped by 30% in regions once ravaged by hunger. Traoré has also revived the cotton sector, once a mainstay of the economy, by establishing state-owned processing plants to add value to raw materials. This is what decolonization looks like, taking control of the entire value chain to maximize benefits for the people. Traoré's revolution extends beyond infrastructure and resources. He has declared an unrelenting war on corruption, a cancer that has long undermined Burkina Faso's progress. By cracking down on corrupt officials, streamlining government operations, and introducing transparent procurement processes, he has restored a sense of accountability to the public sector. In 2023, over 200 officials were for embezzlement, a move that sent shockwaves through the bureaucracy. Traoré's zero-tolerance approach has earned him the trust of a population weary of leaders who prioritize personal gain over public good. This is no small feat in a country where corruption was once a way of life. For the youth, Traoré is a game-changer. Unemployment, once a scourge that drove young people to desperation, is being tackled head-on. Traoré has created job opportunities through public works programs, agricultural initiatives, and investments in local industries. In 2024, the government launched a $100 million Youth Entrepreneurship Fund, providing grants and low-interest loans to young innovators. Over 10,000 jobs were created in the agricultural and construction sectors alone, giving young Burkinabe a stake in their nation's future. This is why young people across the country chant his name, why they see him as a leader who speaks their language and fights their battles. On platforms like X, hashtags like #Traoré2025 and Burkina Rising trend regularly, with young Africans across the continent hailing him as a role model. The nationalization of these gold mines is already bearing fruit. Reports indicate that since Traoré took office, Burkina Faso has generated $10 billion from its gold mines, a stark contrast to the $1 billion annually that foreign companies once paid in taxes and royalties. This windfall is being reinvested into the nation's development, roads, hospitals, schools, and agricultural programs that are transforming the lives of ordinary Burkinabe. The creation of a national gold reserve, a first in Burkina Faso's history, is a masterstroke, providing a financial cushion against economic shocks and strengthening the country's currency. The International Monetary Fund projects Burkina Faso's GDP to reach $23.6 billion in 2025, a 5.8% growth driven by Traoré's policies. Traoré's decision to halt gold exports and build a state-owned gold refinery is a game-changer. By processing gold locally, Burkina Faso is adding value to its resources and creating jobs in the process. The refinery, set to be operational by 2026, will position Burkina Faso as a hub for gold processing in West Africa, further reducing reliance on foreign markets. This is what economic sovereignty looks like, a nation that controls its resources from extraction to market. Let's not mince words. Traoré's bold moves have made him a target. The West, accustomed to pliant African leaders who bow to their dictates, is rattled by his audacity. They see a man who is not just nationalizing gold mines, but building a gold refinery and establishing national gold reserves. They see a man who has halted gold exports, insisting that the nation's wealth be processed locally to back its currency. They see a man who has expelled French troops, ended military agreements with Paris, and forged strategic partnerships with countries like Russia and China on his own terms. And they are afraid. The West's fear is palpable. They have slandered Traoré, with figures like General Michael Langley of the US Africa Command accusing him of using Burkina Faso's gold for personal gain, a baseless claim that reeks of desperation. They have whispered about Russian influence, trying to paint Traoré as a puppet when, in reality, he is a patriot who prioritizes his people above all else. They have even gone so far as to plot in the darkness, seeking to remove him from power because he dares to challenge their hegemony. Reports on X suggest that Western intelligence agencies are actively working to destabilize Burkina Faso, a claim that aligns with the historical playbook of imperialism. But Traoré is no ordinary leader. He is a revolutionary who moves with the confidence of a man who knows his people stand with him. Across Africa, Traoré is becoming a beacon of hope, a symbol of what is possible when a leader prioritizes his people over foreign interests. Mali, under its own revolutionary leadership, has followed suit, acquiring all shares of the Marilla gold mining company. Niger, led by General Tiani, has expelled foreign companies like Orano and taken control of its uranium mines. The Alliance of Sahel States, AES, comprising Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, is a testament to this new wave of African sovereignty, a united front against those who would sue us for reclaiming what is ours. Let them come. As I said last week, these predators who looted our continent for 6 decades now have the audacity to threaten legal action. We are ready for them, and we will make them pay for their crimes. Traoré's actions are not just transforming Burkina Faso, they are galvanizing a continent. Other African leaders are watching, learning, and beginning to act. Mali's nationalization of its gold mines and Niger's expulsion of foreign uranium companies are not isolated incidents. They are part of a broader movement, a Pan-African awakening that Traoré is leading with courage and conviction. His policies are a blueprint for how African nations can break free from the chains of neo-colonialism and build economies that serve their people. In Ghana, discussions are underway to renegotiate mining contracts with foreign companies, inspired by Traoré's success. In Zimbabwe, President Emerson Mnangagwa has cited Burkina Faso as a model for resource nationalism. Even in Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, grassroots movements are calling for greater control over oil and gas resources, pointing to Traoré as proof that change is possible. On X, African intellectuals and activists are hailing Traoré as the Sankara of our generation, a leader who embodies the spirit of Pan-Africanism and self-reliance. As a Pan-Africanist journalist, I cannot overstate the significance of this moment. For too long, we have been told that our resources are better managed by foreign hands, that our wealth must flow outward to enrich others while we beg for crumbs. Traoré is shattering that narrative. He is showing us that we can mine our own gold, build our own roads, heal our own people, and educate our own children. He is showing us that sovereignty is not a dream. It is a reality we can seize. To my brothers and sisters across Africa, let this be a rallying cry. Let Traoré's courage inspire us all to stand up, to demand what is ours, to build a continent that shines as brightly as the gold beneath our soil. The West may tremble, but we will rise. The predators may sue, but we will prevail. This is our time, our moment, our revolution. And with leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traoré at the helm, the future is ours to shape. Let us march forward, united in purpose and unwavering in resolve. Let us build an Africa where our children inherit wealth, not debt, opportunity, not despair, pride, not shame. Let us honor the sacrifices of our ancestors by reclaiming our resources and rewriting our story. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has lit the torch. It is now our duty to carry it forward, to every corner of this great continent, until the dream of a truly independent Africa is realized.